Today's video is going to have probably fewer coins than I typically put in one of my videos, but I do think they're all winners. These are all coins that I found from a dealer I've seen several times already who goes by the Treasures foreign coin shop. I'll see him at all kinds of shows in the Tennessee area, and he has he does bring with him a lot of carded coins, but he also has a really full box of better like a better foreign coin bin that he prices at 10 for $5. There have been times in the past that I picked up a larger number. He's given me a better discount since I've bought from him several times, but this time I found exactly 10 that I wanted. And since there are only 10 coins in this video, I got a couple of extra copper coins that I'm going to talk about also. We're going to start with this coin from Rwanda from 2007. This is a bimetallic 100 Rwandan franc, so that's abbreviated FRW, but it has a second name for this currency. The currency is also 100 Amafaranga, which is written around the edge of this coin. So it was only made in 2007. Its catalog number KM32. And while the Kraus catalog doesn't note any differences on here, there are two different versions to look out for on this coin. And so it has to do with during the middle of the print run in 2007, they reduced the size of the ring on here. So the thickness of the ring changed. And so actually, I may have had it backwards. They may have increased the size of the ring. And so there are a couple of different ways of telling on here. It wasn't, maybe about a month ago, I posted a video where I got the other version of this coin. This one is the thicker ring, so it makes for a smaller gap. And so I think the best way to look for the gap is to look at the banner at the very bottom here, and on the smaller gap version, the edge of this banner at the bottom is almost touching the edge, touching the ring on here. The other version has a bigger gap right there. And so when they make the bigger ring, they also made bigger letters, bigger numbers on here. You might have to have both of them side by side to know for sure, but if you've got a scale, you can measure it. And so what I've been told is one version is 6.7 grams, the other version is 7.5 grams, and that would be because the weight of the metal in the ring is different than the weight of the metal of the middle piece, and so that makes a difference of about a gram when they increase the size of the ring. So that is something to look out for on these. And so Rwandan coins always seem to be worn pretty bad, so this one that is 17 years old and to not find it in nearly uncirculated condition. I guess that's true with a lot of African coins, but we'll move on to the next one. Our next coin here features Sheikh Abid Amani Karume, who was the king of Tanzania. Not Tanzania, but Zanzibar. It actually has Zanzibar written right there. That doesn't actually say Tanzania on this coin anywhere, but it is from Tanzania. It does have the date of this king's life. He must have passed away or must have been the king from 1964 to 72. The coin itself is dated 2008. So this, in the catalog, this is KM34. As we flip this one over, this one is a 200 shilling, or actually I should say a shillingi. On this side, it features a lion and cub. And if you're curious on what 200 Tanzanian shillings is worth, that comes out to about 8 United States cents. And just by chance, we have 3 straight coins with a value of 200 on it that are still in active currency. So it's kind of interesting to see the value of each of them. So our next coin is going to be from Uzbekistan. We call it Uzbekistan, but they spell it with an O right here. This is the 200 Som coin, which has so far only been minted in 2018. So the front of the coin here features the national coat of arms, and the words around the edge translate to the Central Bank of Uzbekistan. And then as we flip this one over, here we have the value of 200 Som, and this one's fairly new, so it still has a pretty good shine to it. And it almost reminds me of a, almost, I wouldn't call it a reverse proof, but the area that's raised on here, the flat area that's raised on here has kind of a matte finish to it, and then the lower flat area is more of I wouldn't quite call it mirror-like, but it does have a shininess to it that you can see in little dots that make the ring around it, but also in the background of the picture and the where it's indented for the number and the currency on here. But we have a tiger that I have first seen on some paper money that I have from Uzbekistan. So it's called the tiger with the rising sun pattern, and with that you can almost see a face behind that, and that's called the archway of an Islamic school, which is called the Shurdur Madrasa. So the 200 Som from Uzbekistan has a foreign exchange value to the United States dollar of 1.6 cents. So our next coin of the value of 200 is going to be from Socialist Republic of Vietnam. This one's going to be a 200 dong coin, catalog of KM71. So far only minted in 2003. This one is made of nickel-plated steel. And as we flip this one over, I find it interesting that these are actually minted at the Mint of Finland. So the foreign exchange value of 200 Vietnamese dong to the United States dollar is 0.8 cents. So half the value of the Uzbeki coin. If you see this design, it's going to be a Bulgarian coin from the late 1990s. The image here is considered the Madeira rider, sometimes called the Madeira horseman, who has killed a lion with a spear. And so this image is based on a historic rock carving in Bulgaria that dates to probably the late 7th century. So this was a coin from the Bulgarian Republic. We flip it over. This is a 50 leva coin made in 1997. They had a currency revaluation in 1999, so this one didn't last for very long in circulation. This coin was only minted in 1997. It has a catalog number of KM225. To the left of the 5, you have a fish, and to the right of the 0, you have a sun. Excuse me for the cough. So these are not privy marks like you might see on other European countries, but instead these are considered to be symbols of ancient Bulgaria, which is why they appear in this coin. From the Republic of Sierra Leone, we have this 100 Leones coin from 1996. It was the first year that this coin was made. And it features cocoa pods. Catalog number is KM46, and this was made at the Royal Dutch Mint. This coin features Naimbana, oftentimes called Naimbana II. He was the king of the Tempe people in what is now today Sierra Leone until his death in 1793. I love the modern design of the Philippines coins. This one's a 5 peso, and it's dated 2020. And this coin features Andres Bonifacio. And for a coin, it sure has some pretty intense microprinting on the left on here. I believe it has the word Filipinas. Philippines spelled the way that they spell it right here at the top. They have that printed over and over again. Then the Central Bank of Philippines mint mark is hard to see, but it's kind of etched into the word Philippines right here in that corner. As we flip this one over, it again has the logo of the Central Bank of the Philippines over here, and then has the words. Their words for the Central Bank of Philippines written in micro printing on the right-hand side. But then they also have a plant on here called the Tayabak. Apparently other places that's called the Jade Vine. And so I haven't had one of the newest 5 pesos yet, but there is a round version, which was the original version, but this one is actually a nonagon, or 9-sided. You can see there's flat and then curved parts on the coin. So apparently in 2019, they decided that too many people were getting the 1 peso and the 5 peso confused, and so they stopped producing the completely round version and made it 9-sided so that people would no longer be confused. So I didn't have the round version or this version, so I'm certainly happy to pick this up, but I'm still looking out for the round one. This one is catalog number 312. Next we have a coin from Malta from 1972. This side features, I guess there's 4 fish on here. And then the design in the middle is called the George Cross. This is the first year this coin was made, in 1972, and is made up to 1982. Catalog number KM8. So this is very soon after, let's say this one is going to be a 1 cent. So Malta is a place that actually had produced mills, I believe. So this one is the still would be a 1 cent coin. This was made by the UK Royal Mint. And so all of the coins they made coins in 1971, 72, and 74 with the 1972 date. And then 1975, they put 75 on the coins. Then for a few years after that, they made it was made by the Franklin Mint, but only in mint sets. And then I think by the time 1982 made it, the Royal Mint was producing these one more time. Forget what I said about mills on that last coin, because I was getting that one and this one from Cyprus mixed up. So here is a coin from Cyprus where they have it written in the name of the country in Greek and Turkish on here. So the coin was minted in 1982, but Cyprus reached independence in 1960, which is why they have the dove on the shield with 1960 on it. So again, this is the coat of arms. This was minted from 1963 until this year of 1982, and in the next year, 1983, they went through a monetary reform. So we flip this one over, and it has a value of 100, which you really don't see on coins for that are part of a decimal coinage all that often. And that's because it is 100 mils. So you could almost think of this like 10 cents. It would be the same thing. So you had 1,000 mils make up 1 pound, and then by the time the next year rolled around, this would have been they would have made a 10-cent coin where 100 cents would have equaled a pound. But the animal in here is a mouflon ram, which is an animal that you can find there on the island of Cyprus. And this is the same animal which is featured today on the Cyprus euro coins. Catalog number CAM42. And the last coin I paid 50 cents for is going to be this one-year circulating commemorative coin from France. It's going to be a 10 francs, made in 1987. Unfortunately, this one is quite a bit corroded, but I'd never seen it before. So it features the 1000th anniversary, which they call a millenare, I guess. The year 987 to 1987 of King Capet. So his name there is at the top. So the catalog number of this one is 961D. D as in David. And so the reason it gets a D for the circulating commemorative coin is they made the silver version of it first. And then they made another silver version of it, then a gold version, then a platinum version, and then finally the circulating commemorative nickel bronze version, which I'm holding. So catalog 961D. So since I bought 10 coins from that dealer and just a couple of coins from another dealer, I thought I'd lump them into the same video. This other dealer had a box of quite old copper coins, which he had priced at $2.50 each, or 5 for $10. And I found 2 that I really liked, but I didn't see another 3 that I thought was worth purchasing. But since we're talking about France, we're going to take a look at this coin right here. Obviously well worn, but it's also dating back to 1793. So this goes back to the French Revolution. And this is from the short-lived Kingdom of France, which was what they called a constitutional monarchy. So you had pictured here King Louis XVI. And so the people there kind of forced him into a constitutional monarchy, and then a couple of years after that, the people wanted to scrap that, and then they became a full-on republic. That may have happened the year that this coin was made, 1793. So I will make a note that the coins of this era only appeared 1791 to 1793. And it took me a while at first to tell which version it is, but that is since the top of that is flat, that's the way the 3 looked on this coin. So the words that go around the edge of this coin would translate to the nation, the law, the king. So we flip it over, and the value of this coin is 2 sols. So you have the 2, and the word sols is abbreviated with the letter S. Since they were introducing freedom here, it features a Phrygian cap, which is often associated with freedom. And so when this monarchy went away and they became the republic, they completely redid the currency. So this is the last year of this currency system, which did last for a while up to this point, but you had 24 deniers make up 1 sol. And then this is the 2 sol, so it is a thick and chunky copper coin here. But from here you would have 120 sols, or 60 of these would make 1 écu, which was the large silver coin roughly the size of a British crown or a United States silver dollar. And then 1 écu also equaled 6 livres, and so they made 24 livres that were gold coins larger than the écu. So pretty neat to find this one. And so this one has a B mint mark on the other side. It was kind of tough to tell since it's really well worn. And I wasn't even sure until I also saw the mint master mark, which is still well worn, but based on the shape, it's actually this side up. That is a scallop shell. but very well worn. That's how I could tell it was from the minted by the town of Rouen, maybe pronounced Rouen, Rouen. So the French coins for these days, every mint gives it a different KM number. So this one is KM 603.3. So the .3 means that it had the B mint mark on it. One more copper coin to look at. So this next coin is quite the large copper coin, and as a comparison, I put an Eisenhower US dollar in front of it. You can see that it's bigger than an older US dollar coin. So this is from Brazil. Quite a large copper coin. So I've had a couple of these, but this one is actually the best shape I've got. It's very easy to read the 1827 on here, as well as the Rio de Janeiro R mint mark. Rio is the most common mint mark on this coin. But in 1827, Brazil was ruled by, here it says Petrus the First, which they would have called Pedro the First, who is known as the Liberator. And so he was the ruler of Portugal that, at least from the way I understand it, allowed for Brazil to become their own country. But during this time, they made some large copper coins. But this was originally an 80 race coin made out of copper. But you notice there's a big 40 in the middle. And that's because in 1835, as the Brazil was going through an independence movement, and while there were no silver coins, or very few silver coins to go around, which is why they had such large copper coins, the value is also going through some destabilization, which is pretty common for Brazilian coins if you think about it. So in 1835, the government ordered that all of the older 80 race coins be counterstamped with a 40. So this side would be up, and so you can tell that the 40 comes here at kind of a tilted angle a little bit. So this is not up, but this is up on the coin. The old 80s became this 40. The old 40s became 20s. The old 20s became 10s. And so the way to look at it here is there's two different catalog numbers on here. The original host coin, if you found the 80 without the 40 counterstamp on it, it would be catalog number 366.1. But with the 40 counterstamp, it's catalog KM 444.1. And so you've got the date of 1827 when the original coin was made, then 1835 as the day of the counterstamp. Then as we flip this one over, since it is counterstamped, it's very difficult to find this coin in good grades because the stamping process oftentimes puts a pretty big dent into it. And so this one is a better than average. It almost didn't really raise the surface on this side very much. But when you look at the catalog, the best condition you can find on this coin that they have a catalog price for is very fine. So they don't even put extra fine on these kind of coins. But they're going to say very good condition, which is what I'm calling this one at $6. So on the back here, you have the design or the logo that appears on the Empire of Brazil coins. That actually predates that, has kind of a Portuguese logo on it. So, yeah, fewer coins in this video, but I think each of them has a pretty good story. By the way, so the first 10 coins of this video, the ones that I bought from the Treasures dealer, they were 10 coins for $5, and I had $5 worth, so I had 10 coins. When you added up the book value of them all, it came up to $10. So Not like that's going to be a side hustle for me, but I always like to make sure that I get pretty good value on my coins, and so I did pretty good here. Of course, you could also say the $5 that I paid for these two coins was worth 11 in the book value. Of course, they're both well worn, so that's kind of debatable on what something like that's going to be worth. But plenty of more coins coming up, coin videos coming up, so check the links here at the end if you want to see more. And thanks for watching. Bye.